Imagine walking into a store you own, only to be treated like a criminal. That's exactly what happened to Marcus, a successful entrepreneur who recently became the new owner of a nationwide retail chain. On what should have been a simple visit to one of his stores, Marcus, a black man dressed casually, found himself under the suspicious eye of the store manager. Within minutes, accusations started flying. The manager, convinced Marcus was a shoplifter, began making a scene. Customers stared, employees whispered, and Marcus stood there, stunned by the humiliating confrontation. Little did the manager know, the man he was accusing wasn't just another customer, he was the boss of the entire operation. But Marcus didn't lash out or reveal his identity right away. Instead, he decided to handle the situation in a way no one saw coming. What happened next changed the manager's life forever. Marcus calmly placed the items he was holding on the counter, his mind racing. This wasn't the first time he faced prejudice, but it stung differently knowing he was being judged in a place he now owned. The manager, a middle-aged man with a stern demeanor, continued to demand answers. "Empty your pockets," he barked, his voice loud enough for everyone to hear. Marcus remained composed, choosing his words carefully. "I haven't taken anything," he said softly, but the manager didn't back down. Employees looked uneasy, unsure whether to intervene or stay silent. A few customers whispered amongst themselves, some filming the escalating scene. Marcus scanned the room, noticing the store's cameras silently recording everything. As the tension thickened, Marcus couldn't help but reflect on the irony. Just weeks ago, he'd signed the papers finalizing the purchase of this very chain, envisioning a fresh start for its workers and customers. But now, he faced a painful reminder of why change was needed. As the confrontation unfolded, Marcus stayed composed, but he couldn't ignore the growing discomfort in the room. The store manager, clearly confident in his assumptions, called over a security guard. "We need to check this man before he leaves," he announced, his tone laced with authority. The security guard hesitated, sensing something wasn't right, but ultimately followed the manager's lead. Meanwhile, Marcus noticed a young cashier at the register nervously watching the scene. She looked like she wanted to say something but didn't dare. It was clear she was torn between standing up for what felt wrong and keeping her job. Other employees avoided eye contact, busily pretending to be occupied. The store's assistant manager, a younger man with a more thoughtful demeanor, finally stepped forward. "Are you sure about this?" he asked the manager quietly, but the manager waved him off. Marcus silently observed, taking mental notes about the dynamics among the staff. He wondered how often situations like this had unfolded in his stores before he took over. As the security guard reluctantly approached Marcus, the tension was almost unbearable. Marcus could feel the stares, the whispers, and the weight of everyone's assumptions. He decided it was time to take control of the situation, but not in a way anyone expected. The manager crossed his arms, clearly enjoying the sense of control he thought he had over the situation. The security guard stood in front of Marcus, unsure but ready to follow orders. "Let's make this easy," the manager said smugly. "If you've done nothing wrong, you won't mind us checking." Marcus took a deep breath, his calm exterior masking the storm brewing inside. The young cashier finally spoke up, her voice trembling. "I don't think he did anything wrong. He's been standing there the whole time." The manager shot her a sharp glare, silencing her instantly. "Stay out of this," he snapped. The assistant manager shifted uneasily, but still didn't challenge his superior. Marcus raised his hand slightly, signaling for quiet. The room froze as he calmly said, "Before you do anything else, I suggest you check your security footage." The manager smirked. "Oh, we will," he said, his confidence unwavering. But Marcus wasn't done. He reached into his pocket and pulled out a sleek black business card, sliding it onto the counter. "I think you'll find this very interesting," he said, his voice steady but filled with an unmistakable authority. The manager glanced at the card, his expression shifting from smugness to confusion as he read the title beneath Marcus's name. All eyes were now on the manager, who suddenly realized he might have made a terrible mistake. The room was silent, the tension so thick it was almost suffocating. Marcus locked eyes with the manager, his composure unshaken. "Shall we continue?" he asked, his tone calm but cutting. The entire store seemed to hold its breath, waiting to see what would happen next. The manager's face paled as he read the words on the card. *** Marcus Bennett, CEO ***. For a moment, he was frozen, his mind racing to process the revelation. The employees exchanged shocked glances, and the young cashier's eyes widened with a mix of relief and disbelief. But instead of apologizing, the manager doubled down, his pride refusing to let him admit his mistake. "This doesn't prove anything," he stammered, trying to regain control. "Anyone could print a card like this." He gestured toward the security guard, now visibly uncomfortable. "Go ahead, check him anyway." Marcus's calm demeanor finally cracked, just slightly. "You're really going to escalate this, knowing who I am?" he asked, his voice firm but controlled. The assistant manager stepped forward again, this time more assertively. "Maybe we should just check the footage," he suggested, trying to defuse the situation. But before anyone could act, a voice came from the back of the store. "Is there a problem here?" A corporate district manager, who had coincidentally arrived for a routine visit, stepped into view. Recognizing Marcus immediately, she looked confused, but quickly realized something was wrong. "Mr. Bennett," she said, addressing him respectfully, "what's going on?" The entire store fell silent again. The manager's confidence crumbled as he realized the second layer of his mistake. The district manager's presence not only confirmed Marcus's identity, but also brought an unexpected witness to his behavior. Marcus turned to her, his expression calm but serious. "Why don't you tell her what's going on?" he said, looking directly at the manager. Now, all eyes shifted to the manager, who struggled to come up with an explanation. The stakes had shifted dramatically, and everyone could feel the weight of what was about to unfold. The manager stammered, his usual confidence shattered under the weight of the district manager's presence and Marcus's steady gaze. I thought he was shoplifting," he mumbled, his voice barely audible. The district manager's eyebrows furrowed as she glanced between Marcus and the employees, sensing the gravity of the situation. "Did you check the cameras before accusing him?" she asked sharply. The manager hesitated, then admitted, "No, I didn't think it was necessary." The silence that followed was deafening. Marcus, still composed, finally spoke. "That's the problem," he said, addressing everyone in the room. "You didn't think, you assumed, and in doing so, you disrespected not only me but the values this company should stand for." His voice was calm, but the weight of his words hung heavy in the air. The district manager stepped forward. "I'll handle this," she said firmly, turning to the manager. "You need to come with me." The manager's face turned pale as he realized the consequences of his actions were unavoidable. But just as the tension seemed to peak, Marcus added a twist. "Wait," he said, stopping them. Everyone turned to him confused. "Before you decide his fate, I'd like to speak with him privately." The district manager hesitated, then nodded. The manager, clearly nervous, followed Marcus into a quiet corner of the store. Minutes later, they returned, the manager looking stunned but not angry. Marcus addressed the room one last time. "Mistakes can teach us valuable lessons, if we're willing to learn from them. Let this be a reminder to treat everyone with respect." As Marcus walked out, the store employees whispered in awe. No one knew exactly what was said in that private conversation, but one thing was certain: the manager would never look at his job, or people, the same way again. As Marcus exited the store, the atmosphere inside shifted. The employees, once tense and uneasy, began to exchange quiet conversations, reflecting on what had just happened. The district manager, still processing everything, reminded the team that how they treat others defines not only the company but themselves as individuals. The manager, humbled and visibly shaken, returned to the floor. His usual authoritative posture was replaced with something new: humility. Though no one knew what Marcus had told him, it was clear the message had left an impact. Over time, the manager's behavior began to change. He started listening more, treating both employees and customers with greater respect. As for Marcus, he walked away not with anger, but with hope. His visit wasn't just about addressing a personal experience. It was a chance to plant the seeds of change. For him, the real success was watching those seeds begin to grow.